don't really like these options. So I'm going to try to snipe our Flaming Elite here, and we may just end up dying there. It's part of the fun. Okay. This has been interesting. We're super dead to this Flaming Elite. If this is a combat. Nice. Oh. I could take a Metallicize here, but I don't think I will. We've only added a Headbutt and Twin Strike so far. I don't think it's time to start adding Metallicize. Hey, there's our Whirlwind. Thank you for coming back to me. So our first elite was Lagavulin, so our next one is going to be either Gremlin Knob or Tri-Sentries, and we're set up pretty well for that. The Flex Potion Whirlwind combo should do them in pretty handedly. And I'm torn between this 3 elite path or an upgrade here. Mostly to upgrade the Whirlwind. What's this? Shop is almost always a dead node, which I don't like. Let's go big. Let's go for the 3 elites. Carnage. Carnage. Shouldn't get too cocky here. But this was certainly the fight we were looking for. Oh. Pretty good fight, all things considered. We only really got hit once, and we got a bag of marbles. Oh my. And a meat on the bone. So if we can draw into Whirlwind on turn 1 with bag of marbles, so many of these floor fights are going to be just a walk in the park. Or something like this is pretty exceptional as well. Oh, is that the new Carnage animation? Totally forgot to look. So in the last patch, or the patch just before that, they added in some, like a visual effects thing for Carnage. I didn't think to actually, like, stop and watch it. Next time. Yeah. Could have upgraded and still gotten the 3 elites. Maybe I meant... What I meant to say was that 3 elites from this node. We're getting 4 elites in total in this act, assuming this ends well, which it should. 7 times 3 is more than 19. An Ancient Tea Set and a Gambler's Brew. I'll absolutely take a Ghostly Armor as well. This is going exceptionally well. Oh god. It's like our 3rd shop of this act. Not good. I'll go ahead and remove a strike here. And that'll probably hit the clothesline is interesting. I think I may have been overvaluing clothesline in recent history, though. I'm going to try to go without. I do like the clothesline a lot on the Exegos fight, but... No, I'm going to try to go without. Lagavulin round 2. Did not get our sexy bag of marbles Carnage open like I had wanted, but that's okay. I think I do want a Carnage here, even though our next turn is not very good. We do have Meat on the Bone plus Burning Blood, so we can potentially heal up to 18 HP if we're below half at the end of the combat, which is more than enough, again, for the Hexaghost. It was okay. It was just like some... I don't know what to call them. Little, like, frustration marks? I don't know what to call them. The animation isn't quite what I was expecting from something called Carnage. I'll just say that. There it goes again. 30 damage. It's better than nothing. I mean, I don't mean to just like complain about it. It's a neat little effect. This is a really interesting choice. Disarm or Shrug It Off? Shrug It Off is Shrug It Off, but Disarm is so exceptionally good against the Hexaghost. I think I'm just going to go into that path. Before I continue on too much further, I'm going to take a quick minute to step away, get a drink, stretch my legs. Been going for almost a few hours now, so I'll be back very shortly to continue on. Okay. I think I'm back. Man, they're never gonna tweet at me. That's fine. I'm nobody. Wompy, thank you very much for the follow. I just see that I missed that in my absence. Thank you. Oh, I see that my sub goal is also incorrect. I don't think it's worth fixing, but I'll fix it later. No scope the Pope back again. Back in action. How you doing, my friend? Dude, this is nice. Red and needle, that's a full block. Ooh-wee. We get so many carnage effects. Hashtag best streamer on Twitch. I like it. I hope to someday live up to that reputation. Lucky, hello, my friends. Welcome. You mean the second... You must mean the second act. I think I initially struggled with that too, where I thought the floors were the acts. The second act, right? The second boss. Yeah, Act 2. Act 2, I say this pretty often, but I think it's worth repeating. The basic premise of Act 2, and nothing in Slay the Spire is always this way or that, right? It's always a little bit different, but headbutt. Sure. The basic principle of Act 2 is kind of the same thing every time. Act 2 asks of your deck, does your deck scale? If yes, you may pass. If no, you die. And it depends on the character, whether it be strength scaling or poison scaling or focus scaling on the defect, all of those things. And there's many, many, many different ways to find your scaling. It doesn't have to be just strength or just poison. But you will certainly lose out in the end. You allow those fights to go on too long. The bronze scales is doing a lot of work here for us. No attack next turn. I guess we just headbutt back the headbutt, because why not? It is damage. What do I mean? So, again, it's kind of hard to explain without just showing it, but basically, like I'll give you a scenario that we just had in my previous runs. So, I just had, do not kill you next turn. Spooky. Sorry, just a second here. think we're fine. And the next turn's kind of janky, but I think we're also fine. 18, 20, 22, block 13. Like, so from our last run, I was playing the Silent, and basically, I mean, a classic example, we had poison plus catalyst. So your deck scales very quickly. With the catalyst, you apply some poison, it ends up doubling or tripling, and then that scales your damage to the next. Just kind of that next level. So if you're just using strikes, if you're just using basic attacks to try to kill an enemy still by the end of Act 2, you're probably not going to do too well. Just because the champ scales both with metallicize and strength, so if you can't kill him quickly enough, if your damage doesn't scale up fast enough, then he'll just outscale you and you'll die. The collector does something very similar, and then the bronze automaton is also that to a certain degree, because you will eventually die to things like hyper beam or just big multi attacks, because it also scales with strength. So can you outscale the boss? Can you kill them quickly enough with your damage to actually get through, is basically what Act 2 is asking of your deck. Interesting. I think we just take the... I like the feed a lot, of course, but I think we take the Immolate. If we can get Immolate upgraded to 28, we have a bag of marbles. So if we draw Immolate on turn 1, it's going to do 28 plus 50%, so 42 damage to all enemies. That's basically an instant kill to the Tri-Slavers. Not just get all the cards? I mean, oh my... Oh my. Interesting. Yeah, not just get all the cards. I think that's one of the harder parts about starting out in Slay the Spire, is when to say no and what is good and what is not good, because you just don't know. So I just recommend having fun and experimenting and trying things out. One thing you can do, you can make a branching path in your mind. So if you're given a choice of 3 cards and you're stuck between 2 of them, and you choose one. Every time you draw that one card, you can consider to yourself, would it have been better if I took the other card at this moment? And you can't do that for too many situations. But like here, we can easily think, oh, well, I took Immolate. We can then consider if Feed would have been better every time we draw Immolate from here on out, and kind of make a quality assessment based on this run. It's not always going to be true, but I think it's a decent way of at least evaluating your cards without diving too deep into what has already been discovered about the game. Make your deck lean. It's difficult to say yes or no. There's just no blanket statements in Slay the Spire. There are certainly cards that do better than others, and like I'm at 16 cards after picking the boss. So we were only at 15 cards at the end of Act 1. We skipped on quite a lot, and we removed a couple strikes along the way. So I don't know. I think a very, very, very rough number by the end of Act 3, once you get there, probably 30-ish cards, sometimes more, sometimes less, is maybe where you end up. Again, it is not always that way. Something to consider. So we're given the choice of exactly. If your deck works at 20, great. If it works at 40, great. Also great. It's just so hard to make. You just can't make like a single statement about this game, which is what makes it so great, and in my opinion, worth the time investment. It's so wonderful to learn more and more. Every single time I sit down and play a couple hours of Slay the Spire, I learn more. It's great. I think we just take Snecko, because if I don't, there will be a riot. So we'll just take Snecko. I found that I run into the Velvet Choker on the Ironclad way too few times to make me happy. I know it's supposed to be one of the better relics you can pick up in terms of energy on the Ironclad, but I just don't see myself getting that option very often. Why Ironclad specifically? Ironclad has a lot of big 2-cost stuff and is very rarely playing 6 cards on a single turn. Like, there's very few 0-cost cards like you can run into with the Defect and the Silent. So it ends up being pretty good. People will say that the Ironclad loves to get choked, the Defect kind of likes to get choked, and the Silent hates to get choked. Something strange like that. I feel like I don't really like all these combats, but this is our 2 elite path we've been given. So you can say for certain that Confusion sucks. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. Jan Prime, thank you so much for the follow, and thanks for chatting. Please feel free to ask any and all questions that may come to mind. Let's take the 4 here. And that is why Confusion is awesome. So now with Snecko Eye, it's just a matter of taking all the big stuff. Shockwave is a big stuff. It's a 2-cost card. We're basically just going to take it. Clothesline would have also been fine. Heart of Iron gains 6 metallicize with the Thread Needle. That's going to be 10 metallicize if we so want it. I almost went there for no good reason. Speaking of liking and disliking to be choked, I got my first ever downvote on one of my YouTube videos, and I was like, "Oh man, that sucks. Why did you dislike my YouTube video?" And I wanted to know if I could figure out at what point in the video they chose to dislike it, and I did. So because so few people watch my videos, I could see that the one person who watched it stopped watching it like 11 minutes and something like that. So I went to that point in my video, and it was when it was the other night, and I was explaining the chests that you come across right here. So based on, I'm going to call it a trunk so I don't get more downvotes. Based on the color and shape and size of the trunk, you can determine the quality of the relic inside. So if you have the small wooden trunk, it's typically a common relic, whereas if it's the blue one, then it's an uncommon, or if it's the wide trunk, then it's can be a rare relic. And it was at that point when because I was saying the word chest, and I'm like, little, big, or whatever, and it's just kind of awkward. And I knew it was awkward, but I was trying to like teach or something. Like, I was just trying to help. And at that point, the person stopped watching my YouTube video and gave it a thumbs down. It was pretty sweet. You can't please them all, and that's okay. I got a good giggle out of it, because I'm like, yeah, all right, I suppose I get it. It kind of sucks. We're at full HP, so I mean we can afford to lose a little bit of hit points here, but hopefully not too much. This is what I was hoping for. Think it's worth it to immolate and take the vulnerability here? Yeah, it is. We blocked 4 damage and are only taking 2 extra damage here. That was the pog of the stream. All right. I was just trying to help. I mean, frankly, it's not terribly intuitive that is the case. I didn't realize that for a super long time. I don't feel too bad about it, but see, now I don't like that we're at 17 cards. I want to be able to add some stuff. See, it is relevant information. Yeah, I've said it a few times. Don't remember exactly what was going on when that happened. It's a decent amount of damage. Take an extra 9 here. The Sneck, though we cannot be confused, for we are already confused. Why are we here? I think Shrug It Off is worth it, even with Snecko Eye. Especially if it happens to be free. So this is going to do how much? 18 damage back to itself. We only have to do 10 here for it to die this turn. I think we do have to just do the Carnage, though. Is that right? Yeah. Keep that going. Sure. The thickness of the trunk determines the quality of the junk. Ironclad have any things that let you draw, you know, is a 0-cost Snecko card. You mean like pull from your discard pile or draw pile? I don't know. Is there? I can't think of any right now, but I could be wrong. Yeah, can't think of any. Yeah, could you not hit me for 20 damage, please? Let's see, if we take 20 here, we go to 37. Is actually perfect. So now that we're at 37 HP, we proc Meat on the Bone exactly, and we pop back up plus 18 at the end of the fight here. Assuming we have it. I think we do. Yeah, we do. Okay, we're back up to 55 now. Yeah. I know, I'm gonna blank on the silence one as well. Can't remember. So this is only, what, 21 damage to all? I'd really hope to get our Immolate here. We can headbutt anything back. So we could headbutt Whirlwind again if we want to. This is a fair amount of damage coming in. I did see a cool combo that I want to try, and I hadn't thought of it before, and it makes total sense. It's not that crazy. It was you play a card like Immolate. Let's say this fight. Let's say we played Immolate, and then we headbutt Immolate back to the top of our draw pile. You can then play Havoc, which is 0 cost if it's upgraded, and then play the Immolate again. It's basically a way to pop this fight on turn 1 almost every time. Pretty cool combo. So we only have to Whirlwind for 1 to kill this last Slaver here. Ah, dual wield. Yeah, that's a thing. Immolate. Late for 3. Great. Weird. Who are we fighting? We're fighting the Bronze Automaton. So we got the Strike. We got the Strike Demi. Cards containing Strike deal 3 additional damage. So strikes, yes, but also Twin Strike. Now it hits for 16. If it was upgraded, it would be 20 damage or 1 energy. Pretty nice. We'll pass on the Sword Boomerang. We don't have any strength scaling right now, so it's not terribly good. We're going against either the Gremlin Leader or the Book of Stabbing. In those instances... Oh, Exhume. Exhume's interesting. So if you were to pull from your exhaust pile, I assume it is, but is your exhaust pile cost the same as what it was when it was cast? I believe it is, but... Let's go back down to 18 cards. Wow. Oh, Matryoshka. Yeah, I also think it would cost the same. I'm pretty sure it does. I just don't know if I've run into this situation. So this is an interesting Sapphire Key, potentially. Hey, good friend Noxel. Welcome back. Well, whale, whale. I try to make them sound different. Well, whale, whale. A wave coming my way? What does that mean? So we're in the middle of Act 2 when we're looking at the Matryoshkas, so it's only ever going to give us, for sure... Hitler Lord is now hosting me for 476 people. Hello, very large group of people. Welcome. Anyway, I'm going to finish my thought before I finish welcoming all of you. So if we take Matryoshka now, it only ever gives us one extra relic. So we may as well take the Sapphire Key, or we could take a few extra events to see if we can get the Matryoshka to pop. Or we could just take Matryoshka now and get the extra relic later. So this is probably what I'll do. Welcome, everybody. Excellent timing. So we are in the middle of only our second run of the night. We're playing the Ironclad. We've got the wonderful Snecko Eye. And not a lot of cards. Yeah, hold on. I got that too. It's a Baler Hay. So basically the strategy's been pick the 2-cost stuff or good stuff. We just haven't really found a lot of good stuff. Act 1 went very well. We picked up 4 elites in Act 1 on the back of sniping our flaming elite and then just picking up some generally good stuff along the way, namely Whirlwind and Carnage. So we had some fun with the new Carnage animation. And that's kind of been the run so far. The best we could do in Act 2, we kind of set ourselves up with the Whirlwind and Immolate to take on a bunch of elites in Act 2, and unfortunately we only found 2 elite paths. So we're about to start our second. Our first was the Slavers, which went well. Pretty well. It was one of those where you draw Immolate at the very bottom of the deck and wonder what went wrong. My current concern is we're lacking scaling for the Bronze Automaton fight, so I don't really know how we're going to get through that. But that's a problem for future me, not current me. So if you haven't seen the new Carnage animation, get ready. Wow. That's pretty much it. I was expecting something a little bit more like visceral, you know, something that spoke Carnage to me, but that's okay too. Hey. So we are not on 4 energy. Nor do we have a way to get 4 energy. We for sure have to kill the fat gremlin here, which means we don't kill the shield gremlin. I suppose is fine. What's the staircase relic? Oh, you mean the strike dummy? It's like a, what is that thing called? Is it a... Is it a Wing Chun? Is that what it's called? I forget. Maybe that's... Oh, maybe those are swords. It has a name. I remember it from... God, there's that one like retro fighting game. Can't remember the name of it now, and I'm not going to be able to find in time. Wing Chun Dummy, is that what it is? Yeah. Anyway, cards containing strike deal 3 additional damage. It's beat up. A scratching post? Hot Jane, thank you so much for the follow. Adam Sims, hey. To see you as always. We care about the carnage here. I don't think we do. We're very close to just reaching the end of the fight. If we do this, this. 24 plus 8, 32. Might have a kill here. Do we have to kill the fat gremlin here? Yuck. Dude, I need a thick emote. That's what my channel's missing. I'm gonna kill the fat gremlin here. We have Immolate coming up. As long as we're not frail, I think we have ways to kill the gremlin leader after this. Baylor booty clap. Dude, everybody heard it here first. The announcement on my channel. Dude, Adam Sims, how do you have a bunny booty as an emote? How do you have like all the bunny emotes? Oh my. Oh my. That is a corruption Snecko Eye. Yes. No, you may not have my meat on the bone or my Snecko Eye. This is our second time fighting these guys. So we take, or we get hit for 30 here, but I think it's fine. We're blocking for 25. Oh, I did not. It actually just dies. Okay. So how do we kill the bronze automaton with what we have here? I really like the Blasphemy beta art. Blasphemy beta art is one that I will almost certainly keep on. I managed to save the clip of myself dying to Blasphemy for the first time. And I will remember it well. Ah, with oxidation. Baylor, after I had like a light bulb moment on your stream where you were fighting the time meter. I said this earlier to the people who are here, but I think it's worth repeating as unbiased as I can be. After I had my light bulb moment in your stream earlier where I was like, you were fighting the time meter, and I said, if the time meter eats time, does that mean that it's holding on to a snack? Because it has a little clock that it hangs onto there and it just kind of dangles. I decided to take my stroke of genius and tweet at Megacrit, and they have yet to get back to me. So it's still TBD. We don't know if that is in fact a snack or not that it's hanging onto, but I have high hopes that it is. Jeez. These fights are all going so well, and then we're going to go against the bronze automaton and get sad. Like no powers either. My God. Andrew Wiggins. Guess we'll do our shockwave. Maybe we get it applied here. I think we... Exactly. What if it's his lunch? What if the clock... What if he was just like on his way to work at the Spire this morning, and then you stumble upon him and he's just like got his little lunchbox dangling there, and he's like, huh? Can I help you find anything? And then you just start assaulting him, and he has to fight you back. Maybe that's why he adds slimed cards to your deck, because he's just trying to like slow you down and not hurt you. See, these are the real things we need to be asking ourselves as we make our way through the Spire. We need to be more considerate. Spire brawlers, I don't know. Spire ascenders. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can keep this going. What if the clock holds all of the time? I want this to be at 3. And I also don't want to lose Carnage here. So many better plays, though. Do we ever just kill the Bronze Automaton? I think it's pretty unlikely. So the orb here is going to take Corruption or Immolate. So we're not able to Immolate the orbs down. I will tweet at Megacrit every single day until I get an answer. Or until someone makes the Slay the Spire mod to change the block into a lunchbox. I don't want to make any enemies. I just don't really want to use my Gambler's Brew here. Because if we draw into Corruption, then we can't play it. Though they're just probably taking it. 12, 18. We could do this to save a stack of plated armor. I think that might be worth it. Man, we're so close to just killing the Bronze Automaton outright. Like, maybe? Maybe we just kill it? Yeah, that's my Corruption. This helps. Yes. Oh, wait. No. No, I did that to myself. You jerk. So I headbutt my Immolate on top of my draw pile, and there was only 2 cards on top of my draw pile. So I think I gave my Immolate to this orb here. We could take it back right now, though. Get out of here. Oh, goodness. Okay, we got big stuff in Bludgeon. Oh, yeah, Meat on the Bone. Yeah, I forgot I planned that. Thank you. I think Fusion Hammer would be okay here. So Fusion Hammer, Astrolabe, we could get rid of some stuff. Don't really feel the need to do that. And Small House, which is Small House. We'll take the Fusion Hammer. More energy is good. So our ability to kill Nemesis, Reptomancer, and Giant Head here is kind of interesting I know we just kind of bopped the Bronze Automaton, but I'm still going to say that we don't have tremendous scaling in this deck. We could run into a situation where we just pop them, especially with things like Corruption, using a bunch of skills and then using our powers on the giant head. I think that could go really well for us. Nemesis, we do have a disarm, which is something. And Reptomancer, we have area of effect damage, so I like picking some fights here. Do have some decent 3 elite paths. I'm looking, so we have a 3 elite path through here, which is pretty good. I do want to hit a shop though, and our only way to hit a shop, so we have 2 at the end of the act up here, 1 at the beginning here. So we could try to go through this shop here and do 2 elites in a row and then into a campfire. Need scaling much. We're just looking for some skills. I feel like we're lacking excuse me, in the defense category. It's very face forward, this deck. I also like events this act because we have this Matryoshka. I don't see it hang out for us, but maybe 2 events through there. I'm gonna go to this shop. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good losing the Carnage here if we play the Corruption. Goodbye. I did just put my disarm on this one. Oh well. We can't let pride allow us to take extra damage here for no good reason. Spot weakness is some strength scaling for us. Sure. We currently have no extra strength in this deck. This is kind of a spicy spook factor, actually. We're lacking a bit of block. So if these thorns stack up too high, it could be interesting. I think we just take this 7. It's either take 7 or take 2, but we're gonna heal for 6 anyway. We're at full HP. I don't think this matters. I'm just gonna deal with this one. And this is why. Delicious. $386 gold and a dream. Chance of some interesting stuff. So we get potential 3rd Shrug It Off. Get Bottled Flame something. I don't think we need to do that. Also, a Self-Forming Clay could be very good. That is quite a lot of block in Self-Forming Clay. That would be very helpful on the Heart's multi-attack. If we happen to get multi-attacked first and can't block any of it, it's 45 block for the next turn. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but it can be a potential save for us. Additionally, we could remove like a strike at this point. No reason to take Panacea, I think. Yes, the Bottle Flame, upon pickup, choose an attack, start each combat with this card in your hand. So we would maybe be looking for the Bottled Tornado, which allows a power to start in your hand for Corruption. But an attack, I mean, yes, it would be nice to start with like Immolate or Bludgeon or something in our hand, but I don't think that is terribly helpful here. I'm just going to do the Self-Forming Clay and another Shrug It Off. Ooh. Spooky. So the Transient also says, to some effect, does your deck scale? Can you keep up with me? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe. I think we'll have to be a little careful with Corruption, or maybe we just burn away all of our block cards and we're left with attack cards to deal with the Transient. That could be good too. Yeah, we could have, like, early on, I think I would have been more on board for Bottled Flame on the Immolate. As is right now, we have just so little use for it into the end. We can do some really interesting things with Bottled Flame Immolate, like when we get into Act 4 on the Elites, it's pretty good to have there as well. Sure. So we don't want these defends next turn. I'm going to burn... I think it's worth it to burn a Shrug and a defend here. We'll keep one Shrug around just in case. But the defends just don't really do much for us at all. Speaking of which... That is true. So my mind currently, so that is true, that we do have Bag of Marbles, so Immolate is always 42 damage. And it's not that it's bad. So it's not that it's a bad draw or a bad Bottled Flame card at all. My mind is already kind of at the end of the act, and we're not there yet. It's not for sure that we're going to get here. But if we're thinking ahead to Dono and Deca and the Act 4 Elites, things like that, I want something bottled less than I want something bottled, like an Immolate. Maybe it was the right call. I really don't know. I just felt pretty good about just going as is. I think we're fine with the Snecko Eye 7-card start. We're doing okay. Six zeros and a 1. That is my kind of hand. Sure. Lose some max HP. The event. Okay. Pretty excellent turn one. Kill the Nemesis. 1 damage at a time. So next turn has a little spook associated with it. Since we can't kill him, we just have to hope that we don't get hit for an obscene amount of damage. 7. This is almost a full block. We might as well play this. Nice. Very nice. Good fight. Any reason I didn't like Juggernaut there? Not particularly. It was upgraded, I suppose. I don't know. I guess in my mind we weren't really doing that, but like that wasn't the yes. That wasn't the deck archetype I was really going for, but I don't know. Like maybe we could have gotten away with the Juggernaut. It would have been a fair amount of damage with Corruption down. Maybe it was the right call. I don't value Juggernaut probably highly enough. I will admit. Here's this guy. Take my strike. Ah. I just can't. I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with this fight. Hate it. I hate it so much. All right. All right. Calm down a little bit. It's fine. That's it. So I says to the guy, I says, I don't want your curse. Can't see how much he's hitting me for. I guess we could do the Impervious on top of the deck just to be safe. And then we can always Corruption into Impervious. Yeah, it is going to be a letter opener kind of kill. So he's on 82. 8. 2 plus 3. Not too bad. Honestly, we probably took a little bit of extra damage there because I was salty about fighting the Writhing Mass. Okay. 2 more key pieces to go. I think we pass on this stuff. Metallicize is interesting when you have Corruption. It is a constant source of block, but I think we do metallicize things here. I was thinking about ditching the Blessing of the Forge for the weak potion, but I think I'm going to hang on to it. We pick up a potion belt from Matryoshka, so that's kind of our what we took in place of this. So if we didn't take, we took the key piece for Matryoshka, we would have gotten a frozen egg at this point, which is not terribly useful. So I guess that was the right call, but who could have known at that time? Oh, look at this opening hand. Delicious. So good. Let's I think we Ghostly Armor first, so we don't burn it with Corruption. That seems correct. 48, 60, 72, plus some damage. Nice. Got an Akabiko. Yo, deja vu. You have a run like this before. Ah, brutality is really interesting here. It's hard for, to be fair, it's kind of hard for Snecko to hate me because we have so many high cost cards. It can happen, but we have gotten a lot of zero cost draws. Brutality is really interesting with self-forming clay. So self-forming clay says whenever you lose HP, gain 3 block next turn. So brutality says at the start of your turn, lose 1 HP. So it's always a net 1 HP gain if you were going to take damage anyway. Plus you get the extra card draw for Snecko Eye. The question is, can you play it with Snecko Eye? And I'm willing to give it a shot. Since the run's going so well, I'm going to recall now and say Triforce complete. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. You love to see it. This was I think it was it this run? Can't remember. I think it was my Whirlwind Akabiko run that I put on YouTube that got the downvote. It was destined to happen, and if there was ever going to be a time to get a thumbs down on YouTube, that's the way to go out. Oh yeah, it was. What's the earliest I've recalled in an A20 run? In recent memory, I think in recent memory I completed the key piece, all the key pieces at the end of Act 2. I don't recall recalling in Act 1, but it may have happened. I'm not sure. Ripple, Ragnarok, Akabiko. I want to play the Watcher so bad. It's so fun. I think I said it earlier in your stream, but like I never feel like I know what I'm doing on the Watcher, but it always goes really well. Like it's so hard to fail on the Watcher to an extent, yes, but also in reality. It's just too easy. I don't know what it is. Extreme Paradox, hello. Welcome. I am up to... So I did one run off stream the other night, so I got to Ascension 6 on the Watcher. So coming up in the world. 22? Oh, never mind. We just have the kill. Dual wield. I don't think so. Do you know what other people's Watcher win rate is? Because I know Terrence has, like, his highest win streak on the Watcher A20 is I think 7 currently, which is insane. 7 Watcher runs in a row, all going to and beating the heart. And I've watched Terrence play quite a lot. He's a very, very, very careful player. Takes his time on every single turn. So that's towards the peak in my mind. But we'll see. We'll see where everyone else ends up. I guess I want to do this. I care about the ghostly armor? I think Terrence has also only exclusively played the Watcher for like since it was released, or close to. But still, like I said, exceptionally good. That's where I started out learning some tricks on the Watcher. Do I know what's going on now on the Watcher? Absolutely not. But I think I learned something watching him play. Yeah, well, I think I want the ghostly armor later. We'll see. I want to headbutt last, but I also want to headbutt back Carnage. $78. That's true, and I'm interested to see if they put forth any changes on the Watcher to say something was too good or not good enough. I don't know what they would change at this point, honestly, or if they need to, but it's a fair amount of damage. But I'm still curious to see if it'll happen. I do think she's a little too easy. Something about Wrath Stance. Something about Wrath Stance is it's just too easy. It's too much damage. If you can one-shot the slime boss on a typical run, and if in a typical run, or an atypical run rather, you're not one-shotting the slime boss and you're like, oh, this isn't going so great. I don't know. Aw. Sad. Big damage. I think that's only a good thing. In my experience playing video games when it's always frustrating when people companies balance around PvP when you're not a PvPer, or end game stuff when you don't, like top tier, top 0.5% of players, when that's not you. And I had a friend complain to me about this recently with Borderlands 3, and I don't know, I haven't played Borderlands 3, so I may be wrong, but this is what I was told. And he said he was really enjoying Borderlands 3 quite a lot, but then they started nerfing things due to like the PvP in the game or something to that effect. And all the characters he was playing kept getting nerfed and were less fun to play because they were balancing around PvP and not what he liked to do. So one would hope that they wouldn't come in and just wipe the floor clean about any of this stuff. Entrench could certainly save us from a turn. I don't know if it's good enough, but Unmistaken. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, so that's what I was looking for. I was looking in my deck to see what I would take out with Exhume. Ooh, we could Exhume Impervious. That's probably good enough on its own. Yeah, that's good enough. And I guess we'll take 4 HP. Thanks. That is a very early corruption. But I'm down. anything. Anything exhausted with corruption is good. Ooh, I should have done the ghostly armor first so we didn't burn it. Well, I think I'm gonna save the impervious. We almost certainly need it later. We're at 4 potions right now. We're doing just fine. If I had saved that other Heart of the Iron, we'd have 12 metallicized 4-plated armor. Spooky. There are a few people. Didn't they do that in? They do that in Guild Wars 1 as well? Or am I remembering that incorrectly? Because I played Guild Wars 1 and enjoyed it quite a lot. Why are all your cards 0 cost? Oh, all our, sorry, I missed that. All our cards are 0 cost. All our skills are 0 cost because we have the Power Corruption. Skills cost 0 whenever you play a skill. Exhausted. So you'll see our exhausted cards are all of our skills at this point. So we only get to play them once. Oh, you're referring to Guild Wars 1. Oh, good. Yeah, I remember that. I miss Guild Wars 1. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember the specifics. Maybe you do. I played a monk, and it was like a really low HP monk. And because so many of the attacks or skills or whatever were based off of percent life in Guild Wars, 55 monks. See, you know. There you go. That was me. That's what I did. So some of the attacks and stuff were based off of like percent of enemy HP. So if you had really low HP, you basically just never took damage. And because you were a monk, you could heal what little damage you took off. Ton of fun to play in PvP. The 55 monk. One of my favorite things from Guild Wars 1 was your ability to solo. Like you got mercs or something, and you could just take NPCs with you on missions. You weren't completely reliant on other players to do stuff, which I liked quite a lot. 48, right? Oh, because we have Akabiko. Oh, Akabiko amulet. That does a fair amount of damage. Call. Thanks. The letter we have, every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. It's letter opener. I think letter opener is one of those interesting relics in Slay the Spire where when you first start the game, you're like, oh, that doesn't seem very good. But then you have, like, much later on, you run into a run where letter opener basically carries the second act, and you're like, oh, this is AoE damage that ends up adding up quite a lot. It's really good. Guess we can just disarm here, huh? Sure. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had spot weakness and I was thinking disarm. We might want to save Shockwave for the second phase. It does stack if you play 6 per turn, so you can potentially do quite a lot of damage. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn. Sure. I think I want to save Shockwave. I don't think we're going to have a problem with this phase. To put you on 1 strength seems completely fine. Oh, the two 0-cost holograms? I think we just do this. It's fine. All zeros. Who needs 4 energy when you have a Snecko Eye? I know, once it comes to the second phase, then we're gonna get the oops all 3s hand. Two exhumes will allow you to play them indefinitely if they happen to be 0 cost. Yes. There it is. That's exactly what we waited for. Thank you, game. Zoom cannot fetch exhume. What? It does not say that. Really? I did not know that. I don't know if I've ever had a deck with 2 exhumes before. Huh. That is not intuitive at all. I'm surprised that's a thing. Exhume cannot exhume. At least it's fun to say. I'm torn on if we even need the brutality here. Like, we could just get more damage out with Whirlwind and just end the fight faster versus brutality, which is, well, it's just slower. I think I want the damage more. We still have full potions, so I don't think we're really at risk of dying here. Which is so great to say. Now I will play it, because it's basically free. 1 away from meat? The perfect calculation once again. The human calculator. If it's inspired with a 2-10. It's a little disappointing. I wish it was more intuitive. I guess is my only complaint, because I would have absolutely assumed that you could get the exhume combo going until I tried it. What could you do with it? So basically, if you had letter opener, which is somewhat common, every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. So if you just kept pulling exhumes with each other, you could kill anything with an infinite combo. is what I assume they're all. Oh, feel no pain too. Yeah. So this is our last shop of the run. We're only on 26 cards. None of this seems terribly appealing, honestly. We're full potions. I think our potions are fine to good. We could take an extra 5 HP heal with fruit juice for one of these. We already have blood potion. Blessing of the Forge is okay. Like I said earlier, we have a fair amount of unupgraded stuff in our deck, so it should hit quite a lot of cards. Hammock, thank you very much for the follow. I think I'm just gonna do the Orichalcum. It's fine. So we have Heart of Iron, which will gain us 6 Metallicize. So no matter what, if we cannot block, Heart of Iron plus Orichalcum will always be 12 block for us, which isn't nothing. It's fine. Moral, thank you very much for the follow as well. We could just take flat HP and Strawberry, but then we're buying Strawberry from a shop, and that just feels dirty. I think Orichalcum is more HP in the long run. Havoc, we could do things with Havoc too. Let me buy this first. So with Havoc, we could headbutt back an attack and play the attack, headbutt back the attack to the top of our draw pile, and then play Havoc to immediately play it again. It would allow us to not one-shot the Spire Shield, Spire Spear, but it would be a lot of damage. It's a thing. It's a thing we could do. Yeah, but what are we removing? Strike? Thread Needle does mean 16, but that also assumes that we haven't taken damage yet. So, maybe. Could be. Also exhausted, though. I'm gonna pass. I think we're okay. Right. So Bag of Marbles gets rid of one of our artifact charges here. Just tuned in. How does this deck kill things? Well, that is a fantastic question. We've been getting by. Basically, we have Corruption and we have Big Stuff with a little bit of strength scaling built in with Spot Weakness and Shockwave. So it is a very, very, very face-forward deck. We just smash and hope for the best. So by blocking nothing right now, we block for 10, we take 2, but we only lose one of our plated armor things. If we defend, we actually block for less. So I think I like... Actually, we take 0. We bash, disarm, and then bludgeon. Take 0. I am... To be completely transparent, I am somewhat worried about the heart. How do we kill the heart? So we just gotta hope for the best, honestly. So we can headbutt, shrug, and try to pull bludgeon for cheap. It would have to be one or less for us to be able to play it. Otherwise, we don't have a lot of plays here, honestly. You love to see it. All right, and we take a lot. Hopefully with meat on the bone, plus burning blood, plus magic flower and a blood potion, we come away with this not... well, hopefully we're fine. I don't know. I think we'll heal more than I'm expecting to currently. So we want to take 3 damage here. This takes us to 36 to... I think this is fine. Yeah, I think this is good enough. And this might be the last time we see Big Zoom. We could pull back. We pull back Shockwave, it's too much block. Could pull back a spot weakness just to try to guarantee the kill next turn. I think we'll be very close, if not having it for sure. Hey. Were not the agreed upon values. Oh, we just win. All right, pick up a blood vial for +2 HP and a feel no pain coming in at the very end here. Thank you. Yo, +3. Yeah, because of the magic flower, we actually gained +3 HP from the blood vial there. Turn 1 corruption and brutality. Things are looking good. So I have to decide if I want to use Blessing of the Forge here, and I don't think we do. So brutality makes it innate. Corruption makes it cheaper. What else do we have? Some stuff. We're basically just upgrading Headbutt and Twin Strike for extra damage here. Half of the strawberry I wanted. That's a fun way to think about it. So I think we just eat the beat of death damage here. It doesn't really matter. Plus we get self-forming clay. So every 2 damage we take equals 3 block next turn when we'll actually need it. A fair trade. If only we had picked up like a medical kit. Okay, do we have Akabiko still? I think we do. Corruption became rare within the last few weeks. So Corruption is now rare and Dark Embrace is now the uncommon. So they swapped rarities. Okay. All right. So we have the big attack, but we also have Feel No Pain and Corruption in play. So we can play some stuff. I think this turn is actually pretty good to use our Blessing of the Forge. Go ahead and use Heart of the Iron, or Heart of Iron, because why not? And Start playing some free cards. Delicious. Oh, I should have played Whirlwind there. I actually didn't calculate the Dazed card. Look at our debuffs. They're about to mold into the Heart's buffs. The old 0 times 15 with bronze scales. While we have no cards in hand to play. Love it. Well, I guess we're just grateful for bronze scales at this point. All right, exhume. What do you exhume? Probably the impervious. I think we just do play the impervious here. Might as well. It feels like overkill, though. We have 10 block coming in. It's fine. Life Lover, thank you very much for the follow. We are almost halfway there. Might as well use our... Well, I'll hang on to our blood potion for a future turn. This is getting a little spooky. Carnage is now one of our better forms of damage. Okay. Okay. We are so close. Do we have it? So this is 75 damage, so 150 over 2 turns plus some extra stuff. I think we just have the kill here. Hey. That's cheating. How do we beat the heart, they said? By out damaging it. G a G. Yeah. F for those in chat who are new around here. Honestly, I wasn't sure that was going to work out, but between the self-forming clay, the corruption, the late feel no pain, we just found enough block. GG. Oh, I didn't discard them. I meant to discard the potions. Yeah, I mean, we did have the 2 spot weaknesses. That was 7 strength on its own. I didn't actually take into memory exactly how much strength we ended with. I think it was around 7.